What's up guys and welcome back to another video. Today is a very special day because I have decided to use my wildcard this week. My original plan was to use it between 33 and 34 because that's kind of when the next big fixture swing happens. But I just think that my current team is gonna be a little bit not good enough for the next couple of game weeks unless I take a lot of hits. And I definitely don't want to take hits unless I really have to. So I think I'm gonna use my wildcard this week. A couple of things to keep in mind is that this is just my first couple of thoughts, my first tinkering about my new team. I am 100% not gonna go for this exact team by the end of the week. So I'm gonna make another video later this week showing my kind of like my final team. But I just want to show you the players that I'm kind of thinking about right now and talk a little bit about them because I know a lot of people are using their wildcard this week. So a lot of people want to see other people's kind of like drafts just to get some ideas. So let's just start with this. And I think for the defense is gonna look like this kind of. Definitely not settled for this, so don't copy everything right now because I don't think this team is gonna be perfect yet. But right now, this is kind of how I'm thinking. I think a Chelsea double at defense is still a good option, even though they conceded 5 goals against West Bromwich. I mean, the red card for Chelsea kind of killed the game for them, so I definitely think that was unlucky, and I think that there are definitely some clean sheets coming up for Chelsea. Their fixtures kind of swing in like 4 or 5 weeks or so maybe you don't want to triple up on the defense, but a double up I think is still good. So Mendy as a goalkeeper, really safe option. He's probably going to play all the games, hopefully at least, and it also seems like the best goalkeeper for clean sheets right now in the Premier League. Then you have the struggle kind of with which defender to go for, because they all seem kind of a rotation risk. The only one that has played pretty much all the games is Azpilicueta. He's also very expensive, 5.9 million. And is he gonna be a rotation risk when Thiago Silva is actually back from the red card and match fit again? Who knows? So I think Azpilicueta is a bit too expensive for me. We have Rudiger, we have Christensen, both 4.7 million. They are cheap, both obviously rotation risks as well, which we've seen in the last couple of games. And then we have James as well. Maybe he might be a rotation risk as well. He hasn't played a lot, but I mean, he has played a lot, but he hasn't played every game. But I just think when I watch Chelsea play, even against West Bromwich, I think James is just so attacking. He looks really, really good. I think that he could get some attacking returns for sure. So I think out of the Chelsea defense, he's definitely my favorite. He's not guaranteed to start, obviously not, so you need to have a good bench, but I think he's a really, really good option. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think I really, really want him because he looks to be in good form right now. He is fighting for that spot in the English team for the Euros. And I think that he is very expensive though. That's the only thing. Like, you could definitely spread that money out elsewhere. But I think that he's a player I want to have in my team. And then I definitely want a West Ham defender, or not definitely because now Declan Rice is injured. So I want to see the game tonight if how well they're gonna do defensively. But I think West Ham, at least for the last 4 or 5 fixtures of the season, it's really, really good for them. So, and they are fighting for the European spots. So I think that West Ham defense could be good. And I do prefer Cresswell, but he's a bit too expensive. For Kufal, I mean, you save about 1.2, 1.3 million. So I think that they can definitely be used elsewhere in the team. I think a Wolves defender could be good. They have good fixtures. I want to see them tonight against West Ham as well, see how they perform. Because they're not a team that's really, really good form right now, but they have some really good fixtures. So it depends if you want to go for fixtures or form. And then we have Luke Shaw right now. I don't think I'm going to have Luke Shaw in my final draft, but I really like him as a player. I really like just having him in the team because he's so good. And I was kind of early on him, so I got some really good points from him the last couple of weeks. But I don't really trust United keeping clean sheets. And their fixtures are okay in very short term, but not great the rest of the season. So I could probably change him to someone else. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do with that. And then Forster is just an enabler, good backup goalkeeper that actually plays right now. And Southampton is probably gonna have another double game week. So I think that's a good option to use that. You could definitely, since Mendy's fixtures kind of swings in the end of the season, you could definitely go for another playing goalkeeper. Like Sanchez, Leno, even Martinez, Lloris even. You can go somewhere else, but I don't want to spend too much money on my goalkeeper spots, so that's why I'm going for Forster. So the midfield right now, I think this midfield is the most difficult position to fill because there are so many good options right now and good cheap options as well. So as you can see right now, I think Fernandes is just a key player I want to keep for the rest of the season. Not even have to argue about that. Like, he's gonna be in my team. Jota, definitely gonna be in my team 100%. He's such a good value, such a good player. And Liverpool has the best fixtures for the rest of the season. That's why I want to go for Liverpool. I was considering going for Salah as well, but he is very expensive, and I don't think I can afford both Salah and Alexander-Arnold. So right now I'm leaning towards Alexander-Arnold because I can use Salah's money elsewhere in the team. I think Son I want to keep just because they have a double game week. Spurs have a double game week in game week 32. And then they have a really good game against Sheffield United in game week 34. They do blank in 33, so I need to keep that in mind. That's why I haven't tripled up on Spurs in the wildcard right now. Obviously, I have another Spurs player gonna see soon, but I haven't tripled up on them because I know that they blank, and I mean, it kind of messes with your strategy a bit. But I think having at least two Spurs player for the double game week is good enough. You could definitely have three, but who's going to be the third option? It's not really a standout option that is great for Spurs right now. Like, Bale is not even guaranteed minutes anymore, so I don't know. And then Lingard, right now, I just have him on the bench because I think that I do want to have West Ham players later on the season. Maybe not right now, so he might be switched to a cheaper player. And I'll talk a little bit about why I want a cheaper player than him if I'm gonna switch soon. But Mahrez is just for a one-week punt against Leeds. Who knows who's gonna play for City next week? Like, no one knows because they have the Champions League. They have so much rotation. They have had it for all the season. So I do want to watch the Champions League and see who is playing, and then kind of figure out who is gonna play in the league. Because I do want to take a punt on City for their game against Leeds. I think they're gonna score goals, and hopefully Mahrez is gonna play. And this other player, as you can see my striker formation right now, Jesus, I think that if he plays as well, I think a double up with Mahrez and Jesus could be really, really good. Obviously, they blank in 33 as well, and I do want to get rid of them as soon as possible, but I do want to take 1 week punt. I do have Gundogan on my current team, so I could also go for him, but I think he's going to definitely have a higher risk of being rested against Leeds because he's like their best player this season. So he's probably going to play Champions League both games for sure. I think Mahrez is going to play both Champions League as well. So we'll see a little bit how I'm going to go with the City players. But I do want to go for at least one, maybe two City players. And then the other strikers is going to be Kane and probably Iheanacho just because he's so cheap. And Leicester has some really good pictures coming up. Kane, also a player you want to have for the rest of the season. He's so good. Probably the best informed player right now in the Premier League. So this is really... The thing about this team is, like, right now on paper, it looks okay. It's definitely not perfect. And also it kinda... I mean, right now I think I'm actually when Bale actually went down. I haven't done any transfers yet so far this week. So Bale went down in price yesterday, which means that I think I'm even like 0.1 or 0.2 million short of building this exact team. So I'm definitely gonna have to switch this around until the end of the week. And the thing is about if I go for a much cheaper player than Lingard, for example, like a 1 million cheaper player, then next week I can upgrade Jesus to Vardy. And then the week after I can get rid of Mahrez for someone else. Or I can downgrade Mahrez next week for Lucas, for example, for another Spurs player, and triple up on Spurs for game week 32, and then try to get rid of Spurs in the future game weeks. I'm not really sure. I don't want to keep Jesus for a long term if I'm going to have him. I could also just put Antonio or like a player in a strike position that I want to keep long term. But why not go for City for 1 week punt? They're playing against Leeds, who always concedes. So I don't know. This team is like... I think it looks okay. Definitely not finished. I am definitely considering the triple up on Liverpool. Salah might come in somehow. I might squeeze him somehow, I'm not sure. I might go for Vardy just because of the fixture. I don't really rate Vardy that highly of a player, but he does get FPL points, so he might be a good option. And I could also go for Region as a defensive option just for the double game week, and then get rid of him after. There are so many options to choose from. Like, I'm not sure. I'm definitely gonna upload another draft video with kind of like my final team later on in the week. So stay tuned for that. But this is kind of my thinking right now. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll answer all of them, of course. And thank you so much for watching.